Just because the scale hasn't gone down does not mean that you're not progressing in your weight loss journey, and doesn't mean that you have to give up. And it doesn't mean that you have to go self-sabotage and go eat a bunch of shit and order a bunch of Uber Eats and call yourself a failure, or say that you're not worthy of weight loss, or you're not worthy of getting to your actual goal. Today I want to share some things with you guys, because a lot of people, they'll start a journey, they'll start tracking their progress, and the only way that they do that is by stepping on the scale and maybe taking some photos. Maybe. That's why it's a little dicey. Actually, it's really dicey doing this on your own. And especially if there's a lot of things on the internet, but nothing's tailored specifically for you. No one knows the amount of stress that you have. No one knows what kind of work you do. No one knows the things that you've gone through. If you've gone through a breakup, or you've gone through a divorce, or maybe your marriage is a little bit harder, or you got a lot of kids running around. Like, no one knows that. So it's really hard to gauge how many calories you're eating, how many workouts you should be doing a week, how much you should be moving, how much you're moving out. No one, here's the thing, and you don't know that. So with all my clients that come in, I teach them these things. My one-on-one clients, I teach them, hey, yes, the tool is a piece of data that we want to look at, but it's not the end all be all of your journey. And just because the scale, weight loss is not linear. And I need you guys to understand this. Weight loss is not linear. Okay. You're not always going to see a straight line going down with your weight loss. Like, sometimes you have to understand, like, there's a gap and a gain you have to figure out. And you always you have to understand what your gap is and what your gain is. And the straight line myth. You know, progress is never linear. It loops, it pivots, it course corrects all the time. But expecting a straight line progress is going to set you guys up for failure. The scale's not going to drop every single week in a clean line. Detours are actually part of your whole journey. You know, sometimes you're going to gain 3 pounds after a vacation, but what does it teaches you? It teaches you that you can balance and still go on vacation. Progress is always going to feel messy in real time. But if you see the bumps, but later you're going to look back and you're going to look at the overall climb of what you actually did. Okay, straight lines do not exist in nature. Trees don't grow straight up. Rivers don't run straight. So why do you guys expect your fitness to? Plateaus, just because you plateau doesn't mean that you're being punished by God. Okay, it's just preparing you for something greater. A weight plateau often means that your body is just adjusting to its new set point. You need to look at your setbacks as feedback. Missed workouts equals feedback about your schedule or recovery, not a failure. So this linear thinking essentially is creating this all or nothing mindset for you. If the scale doesn't move one week, well, I'm just going to quit altogether. True consistency is about showing up, not perfection. Even a 20-minute workout, when you don't feel like it, that counts. And the loops, they refine habits until they stick. So each cycle is going to teach you to come back even stronger. So you need to trust the crooked path, because it's the only one that works long term. Straight lines do not build resilience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you guys, because I want you to see this, what I did for my clients, this presentation that I put together for my clients. And I want to show you some people that have actually lost almost 100 pounds, that have lost 30 some pounds, that have lost almost 50 pounds. And they've trusted the process, and now in this process, they've questioned it, but I've been there to reinforce it for them, to reinforce and allow them to see and understand that straight lines don't exist. So I'm going to share my screen here with you. So this is a message I got from my client, Amanda. And it was this: I seriously hate the scale so much. It's not moving. I'm trying so hard, and I even increased my steps. Some of my pants are fitting better and some are even loose, but the scale isn't moving. So I didn't say anything back to this client. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make an example of this message, and it's crazy because I want to show you guys what's happened since then. This was like 3 weeks ago. So I immediately went and looked at her photos. So this is Amanda 3 weeks into our program. On the left is when she started, and on the right is where she was 3 weeks. You can very clearly see that she's lost inches. She's got rid of some inflammation, and you can just tell she's leaner. You can just tell she looks great. And all of my clients on our call, they literally said, or one of them said, not all of them, she's like, you can clearly see the difference here from the left photo from when she started until now. But also look back, is that some of my pants are fitting better. You guys, if your pants are fitting better and your clothes are looser, that means you're progressing. That's a good thing. Don't worship this damn number. We worship this piece of metal on the floor, and you don't need to. So then I looked over, yes, in 3 weeks, she's lost 2.5 pounds. That's really good. Losing 2.5 pounds in 3 weeks, what did I tell her? I said 3 weeks. So what is that? 21 days. 21 divided by 2.5. I'm sorry, 3 weeks. So 3 divided by 2.5. That's 1.2 pounds in that each week that she's essentially lost. That's really good. That's amazing progress. I don't know why we think that we just deserve to lose 5 pounds. How long did it take you to put that weight on? Took you probably a little while, right? So what makes you think you can just lose it all in frickin' a month? You can't. So then from here, what I did is I dove into, okay, how can she maybe progress a little bit faster than what she is, so that 1, she can feel a little bit more happier, but 2, so that she can understand maybe some things that she's not doing the best at, and she could maybe refine a little bit. So I immediately went over to her calories and her protein. I'm not going to show you her carbs and fats, because all I want you guys focusing on right now is your calories and your protein. Your protein is the most important macronutrient that you want to make sure that you're hitting in a range of every single day. 100 grams minimum every single day. Maximum, honestly, it just depends. I would take your goal body weight, and I would multiply that by 0.8, 1, or 1.1, and I would hit that in grams every single day of protein, okay? I wouldn't even focus on your calories right now. I would just focus on just that. Now, if you want to focus on your calories, okay, cool. Take your goal body weight and multiply that by 12, 13, or 14. And if you're below like 5'3", I would make sure that you hit your goal weight times 14, because it's gonna be pretty low calorie. And then just hit within a range of those calories. But anyway, so we went and I looked at her calories. She's doing pretty good on her calories. You can see her calories are at 1550, okay? And she's been within range. You can see the dotted line, the bold line, and the other dotted line. So you can see she's within range most days. There was a few days that she's not, but this right here, this is really good. Same with her protein. There was 1, 2, 3, 4 days that she wasn't within range. Here's the thing, she's still progressing. You can see right here that she doesn't need to be perfect, and neither do you. So I looked here, I'm like, no, this is really great. Now, I also went and I saw her steps, okay? So I put this little face here because her steps are a little out of whack, and it's something that she told me that, now she did say in her message that she was increasing her steps, but I'm like, okay, well, let me just go take a look. As you can see, her average step count was about 4964. She dropped 1.1 pounds, okay? This is within a 4-day period. And then we went from here, we went down to 4395. So she went down almost, 600 steps. She only dropped 0.4 pounds, okay? And then she increased it a little bit, 6487, dropped a pound. So what I told her on this call, and what I told all my clients, I said, hey, Amanda, the one thing that I think that you could probably improve is your step count. I'm pretty sure she's a little shorter. I'll tell you right now how short she is. She's 5'4". Yeah. So unfortunately, God made her a certain way. So any women under 5'5", you gotta move a little bit more. You just have to, because your body's naturally not burning a lot of calories. So you have to walk a little bit more. You just have to park your car further away from school if you're walking into work or wherever you work. Park a little further away, in the grocery store. Take the stairs instead of the escalator or the elevator. So I said, Amanda, what I want you to do is I want you to try to get your average step count up to maybe 6,500 to 7,500. She did that actually, and I'm going to show you exactly what has happened since this call. But so this is the one thing that I saw. I'm like, hey, this is something that I think you can improve. No, it's not going to be dropping food. I'm not dropping her calories. That's not the first thing I'm doing. That's not what you should be doing. You shouldn't be just dropping your calories. Food's very important. Your nutrition is very important. But now I did go over to her calories, okay, her food diary. I looked in MyFitnessPal, and I do this with all my one-on-one clients. Like if they're not progressing, I'm looking like, hey, how are their steps and the choices of foods that they're eating, and also are they hitting their actual macros and their calories and their protein, their carbs and the fats. So I went over here and I actually looked, and her meals are very well balanced. So she has 33 grams of protein for meal one and 13 grams of fat and 29 grams of carbs. That's actually a really well balanced meal. I told her when she first started that I said, hey, don't go over 35 grams of protein, stay within like 30 to, maybe it was like 30 to 40. And then I told her with her carbs, I said, stay between 30 to, I think it was like 30 to 40 grams per meal. I said, but whatever you do, try not to go above 50. She's doing a pretty good job of that. Now, this time she had a little bit more rice, not a big deal. Overall, she's doing really good. Look at, she has her daily goals here. It was 124 protein, 48 fat, and 155 carbohydrates. She did 162, 50, and 125. That's really, really good. So I'm like, your food diary looks pretty good. And it was very consistent across the board when it came to this food diary. So then I went over here and I just told her flat out, hey, steps is going to be your most important thing. Let's increase your step count. So what she did is she actually increased her step count, and I want to show you guys this. I'm going to go over to this screen now. So she increased her step count to like 8,000 to 9,000. So this was here, right here. She was at this 176. This is where she was plateaued right here. I believe that was the day we had that call. She increased her step count. She dropped down to 175.5, and then she dropped to 175.2, and then she dropped to 174.6. Looks like she weighed herself again yesterday. You see what happens when you move your body just a little bit more and you don't have to take away food? This is exactly what happens. Now, going back to the module here. If the only thing that you guys care about is the number on the scale, you guys are going to set yourself up to quit. The scale is one tool. It's not the truth of your progress. So here's why the scale is going to fluctuate, okay? Water retention, sodium intake, glycogen storage, meaning when you're putting food in your body, your food converts to glucose and it converts to glycogen. When you're lifting, it's pushing glycogen into the muscles. Hormonal shifts, inflammation from workouts. When you go work out, your body hangs on to water because you're pushing water and glycogen into your muscles. Digestion from food in the gut. When you eat, sometimes it's not like you just put food in your body and your body immediately digests it. So sometimes you're going to put food in your body that just your body doesn't digest right away, and sometimes that food's going to stay in there for a little bit. Okay, stress, lack of sleep. The scale is literally going to fluctuate because of all these things. You should actually put a picture of this right above your scale. So when you do your measurements every single week, you should do them once a week. I wouldn't step on the scale every single day or every other day. I mean, I just wouldn't, especially if you have a problem with it. I would make sure that you understand these things. Now, this is called the biofeedback wheel. Okay, I went over this with my clients. I want you guys to look at this and I want you to remember this. Okay, so progress in our physical health, our mental, emotional health, lifestyle and functionality, hormone and internal health. We're going to talk about physical health first. Okay, if your physical health, if your energy, if you feel steady throughout your day instead of crashing like you used to mid-afternoon and the scale hasn't gone down, this is all, I want you to think about this. If the scale has not gone down, I want you to think about all these things. I want you to take this, take a screenshot of it, and I want you to hang it right above your damn scale so that you don't have a goddamn hernia or heart attack or a brain aneurysm because the scale didn't go down. Sleep. If you fall asleep faster, if you wake up refreshed and you don't need much, you don't need 3 cups of coffee or 2 cups of coffee, only 1, or a couple cups of coffee and energy drink, that means that you're progressing. Recovery. If your soreness doesn't linger and you're bouncing back quicker from your workouts, that means that you are progressing. These are your physical health side of things. These are just a couple. There's other things, like could be your sex drive improves. Like that's something that I mean, that I might have that down below in one of my other biofeedback portions here, but that's something. Okay, now let's go to your mental health, mental and emotional health, your mood. If you're less irritable, if you're not as bitchy to your husband or not as bitchy to your boyfriend or not as bitchy to your spouse or your kids, you're more positive, you're mentally sharper, that means that you're progressing. Your stress resilience, if you can handle problems without breaking down or reaching for food or reaching to other desires that you have that bring you, that don't bring purpose and they bring pleasure, that's good. Your confidence, you're starting to feel proud of your body, of all the decisions that you're making, of just life. You're proud of yourself. That means that you're progressing. So these are some mental and emotional health biofeedback markers that you need to watch out for. Let's look at lifestyle and functionality. This lifestyle and functionality, this is exactly what Amanda said, my client. Her clothing, her jeans were fitting a little looser. So if your jeans, your shirts, your dresses are fitting looser, that means that your body composition is changing. That means that you're progressing, my friend. Performance, more strength, more endurance. The intensity in the gym is improving. Good. Daily function, if you have less brain fog, more focus at work, and better overall productivity, that means that you're progressing. And the last thing is hormonal and internal health. There, I have it right here. Sex drive. If your libido is healthy and consistent, that means that your hormones, it's a sign that your hormones are in balance. That's a good thing. If your digestion, if your bloating is less, you're more regular, meaning you're having more bowel movements. Your food sits well with you, and your appetite signals. If you feel that you're getting hungrier, and your and satiety cues again, not just cravings. Like if you're actually like full, and then you get hungry a couple hours later, 2 to 3 hours later, that is a sign that your body is doing exactly what it needs to be doing. So I want you to remember this biofeedback wheel when it comes to your progress. And what I want you to do right now is score yourself in the comments below. Just score yourself 1 to 10 in each area. Like, where are you at lifestyle and functionality? Where are you at with hormonal and internal health? Where are you at with your physical health? And where are you at with your emotional health? 1 to 10. 1 being trash and 10 being absolutely fucking amazing. And then I want you to ask yourself, would you trade all these wins just to see the scale move? And I can probably guarantee you that you wouldn't. I asked all my clients this and they're like, no, absolutely not. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to more body fat, okay, means that you have lower insulin sensitivity. If you have lower insulin sensitivity, it's going to make it harder to process carbs, which is going to equal more fat storage. This is why your meal sizes and carb intake must be adjusted to your body composition. Now, with all my clients, I adjust all of their meals. I say, hey, I want you to eat this many meals. I want you to have X amount of carbs per meal, X amount of fats per meal, and X amount of protein per meal. You guys cannot eat like a lean athlete if your body is still carrying around 30 plus pounds of unwanted weight. That's like literally asking a car with a clogged engine to run on premium fuel. If you're eating 1 meal a day, that's not going to work for you. Okay? If you're eating 2 meals a day, it's probably not going to work for you. Well, I'm busy, Jeff. I understand that, but you're going to have to prioritize eating at least 3 to 4 meals a day so that your meals are balanced. Insulin sensitivity is a real thing, and if you're eating more carbohydrates than you are protein and fiber, what happens is you're going to have this spike of glucose, you're going to have all this insulin that's going to release, and then you're going to crash, and you're going to have all this leftover insulin that your body's not going to know what to do with, and so this causes insulin resistance, which causes weight loss resistance. You want to make sure that you're putting in the right amount of carbs, protein, and fats so your body can shuttle the nutrients to your liver, to your organs, to your muscles, and it doesn't have a lot left over for stored fat, so that you can use your stored fat already and then use all the food that you put in, and then use all the excess that you have for stored fat, not take the rest and store it for fat. That's what people do. It's just like they eat so much per meal, and then they're extremely sedentary, and they're like, well, I'm eating clean. Here's the thing, you can eat clean food and still get overweight. You can eat a bunch of jasmine rice and some steak, and you can be overeating because your body can't handle it. Now, here's the progress pyramid, okay? This is important. I want you guys to watch this, okay? I want you guys to think about from bottom up. Think about the foundation of a house. What does it take to build a house? What's the first thing that you need? You need a foundation. If you do not have a foundation, what's the house going to sit on? It cannot. So the habits, showing up, tracking your macros, tracking your workouts, tracking your steps. This is the foundation for you. This is the foundation that all of you need. Start tracking your protein and your calories. Start tracking your workouts. You can download the app. It's called Strong. It's free. You can go to ChatGPT. You can have a free workout build. You can do a push, pull, and a leg day. You can put however many minutes you want to put in there, a 20-minute workout, 30-minute workout. Put these workouts in there and start tracking your weight so that you can progressive overload and get stronger. It's very good to track your weight. So when I see people, and I know people that don't track, no wonder why they get bored. No wonder why they quit, because they're not seeing that they're progressing in the gym. Yes, it gets very boring when you're not tracking it, because you can't see that would be like somebody in sales, or if you have a job and you're trying to track if you're saving money or investing money or whatever. If you don't track it and you can't visually see it, how are you going to see that you're winning? You can't. So your habits are going to be the main foundation, and then your mindset, your patience, your discipline, your identity, and then on top of that is going to bring you the results. This results on the scale, results on your body composition, and results in your aesthetic. These are the last things that you should focus on, is your results and your outcome. The first thing is your habits, and the second thing is your mindset. That's going to bring you the results that you want to. But again, if you're obsessing about the top without building the bottom, you're going to collapse. Just the same way a house would fucking collapse. A house is going to collapse if it doesn't have a strong foundation. Just like I have it right here. Progress is like building a house. If you freak out about the paint color before pouring the foundation, the whole house is going to fall apart. That's exactly what's going to happen to you guys. This is what progress looks like right here. It's not a straight line, just like what I talked about just a little bit ago. It's not. Okay? It loops. It pivots. It course corrects. Don't expect a straight line, because you're going to set yourself up for failure. If your clothes are fitting looser, your energy is up, your brain fog is gone, you're winning, you guys. The scale doesn't need to define you, so stop letting it define you. Your consistency defines you. You're not chasing a stupid number. You're building a new lifestyle, and this is what all my new clients come in and do. Is we're not just chasing a stupid number on the scale. We're building a new lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle. The weight's gonna follow you, but you gotta think that this is what the journey is gonna look like. It's gonna sometimes look foggy. It's gonna sometimes be all over the place. But that's when you have to build trust, and you have to build faith in what it is that you are doing every single day. Highs don't matter if your lows are gonna take you out. You can hit PRs, but if you stress, if stress eating is going to wreck you for a week, you're going to slide backwards. What this does is it creates emotional stability, and you stop swinging between the all in and all out. The habits should work even when life is messy. So like quick protein options on the busy days, those are going to keep you on track. It's not about your peak. It's about your baseline. Okay? Like ceiling, think about your ceiling and the floor. Ceiling is a 2-hour workout. The floor, it's a 20-minute walk. A strong floor is going to equal resilience, and you're not going to collapse when life gets hard. Now, I just want to show you some of my other clients. This is my client, Megan. Megan, she's lost 48 pounds in 6 months. She stayed focused on the process. We tracked her macros. She walked every single day. She moved her body as much as possible, and she strength trained, and she tracked her workouts. And she lost 48 pounds. This is 48 pounds gone. This is my other client, Lisa. Lisa's lost 36 pounds. Now, Lisa's been with us for a couple years now. She's had some health complications, but here's the thing. There's been a lot of beautiful things that have happened with her health. Things that she hasn't seen in years, clothes that she hasn't fit into in a very long time. And not only that, is that the mental space that she's in right now is in much better than what she was 2+ years ago. 36 pounds gone. And then Angela, she's lost 100 pounds. 100 pounds. Could you imagine that? I want all of you to just not do it, but maybe just try to just pick up a 100-pound dumbbell this far. Most of you won't be able to do it. Now some of you might be like, oh, I can do it, fuck him. Well, okay, cool. You know how much it weighs, but now carry that around with you for years. Put that in a backpack and walk around with it. Now, all three of these women have gone through struggles. They have. They've gone through times where the scale didn't go down, and they were like, oh my God, Jeff, the scale didn't go down. I said, it's okay. I just want you to remember all the things that we talked about. And I have to remind them sometimes. And sometimes I put them into a very difficult corner. I'm like, hey, look, remember exactly why you started. This isn't about that damn scale. Does it feel good? Yes, but I want you guys to think about this. I want you to think about, if you were to hike up Everest, you're only going to be on the summit for so long. And the main thing that you have to focus on is the journey, is taking the step, going from base camp 1, 2, 3, 4, then summit. And you're only going to spend so much time up on the summit. And when you're done, you have to go to base camp 5, 6, 7, 8, and then down to the bottom. And then you're done. So you spent the majority of the time on the climb versus a little bit of time on the summit. I know this is a hard thing to grasp, but I wanted to explain this to you guys, and I wanted to show this to you guys so that you can understand, you can still keep going in your journey instead of give up on yourself. Now, if this is something that you're struggling with and this is something that you need help with, I did put a link in the bio, in the section below. And if you want to book a call, we certainly can. This is what I do with all my clients. We focus on their eating. We actually track their nutrition properly to get to the goals that they want to. We make sure that we move their body more. We set up a workout plan for them. We set up a mindset plan for them so that they can build this into a lifestyle for themselves. My goal is to show them this, teach them how to cut the body fat off and maintain the results. So we add food back in so that they can actually live their life and they don't have to be in a calorie deficit their whole life or feel like they're starving themselves all the time and be in this yo-yo dieting all the time and doing a bunch of cardio and cutting out food. You don't need to do that. You can still go out and have a cocktail. You can still have a glass of wine. You can still have pizza. You can have burgers. All my clients eat the foods that they want to in moderation, and they still get progress. They go on vacation and they still get progress. This can be you. But if you're gonna book a call with me, I only want you to do it if you're serious. If you're not serious, I don't want to talk with you. I want you to do this on your own for a while and see if you can do it on your own. And if you can't and you need someone to lock arms with, I'm your guy. Appreciate you guys watching the video. I'll see you on the next YouTube.